Rocky was my life. But sometimes the end of one thing just means the start of another.
My name is Remy Gauvin, and I am the Stig. For the last couple months, I've been arguing with Henry about handlebar back sweep and suspension setup. And for the record, he's wrong. This has been the start of my transition past racing and into something new. It's been a huge transition. I've discovered the skills that I've gained over my career as a racer are still useful outside of racing, maybe even more so. But let's back it up a bit. I've been a professional enduro racer for the last decade. I really believe that I got to experience the best days of professional enduro racing to date. We traveled to both remote locations as well as mountain bike strongholds, raced against some of the sport's all-time heroes, and were backed by an industry that was excited about a format of racing that appealed to mountain bikers because it was how people rode mountain bikes. I raced on a team that was capable of winning Team of the Day at nearly any World Series round we competed at, and fought at the sharp end of the results myself. At the time, it felt perfectly natural. The culmination of years of hard work leading into this point, from racing DH as a kid all the way into my 20s, and then switching to enduro and really finding my footing there. I was able to grow my skills as the sport evolved and became more competitive. For a long time, I was able to improve on my previous season and was even able to stand on an EWS podium. I always felt that the hardest part about being a racer was looking back at the end of the year at the season which had just passed. I always loved putting in the work to compete, but looking back on a year of work could be daunting. Knowing that in order to improve on the season past, you had to do it all over again, but even better, could be even more daunting. More daunting still has always been the thought of what would come after racing. I've put a lot of effort into being really, really good at riding my bike, and a lot less effort into learning the skills that might serve me outside of bike riding. I didn't come from a generation of riders who were put on factory teams at 16 years old. And for many years, the time I wasn't spending riding and training, I spent working to fund my race season. In my early years, I worked hard jobs like drilling rigs in Alberta and northern BC in order to fund my race season. I'm fortunate that I eventually made a living riding my bike, and once my career became mountain bikes, it was clear I didn't want to go back to living a normal life anytime soon. In the last few years though, World Cup Enduro has had some growing pains, and the industry as a whole has been struggling to support all the different forms of racing, each one of which getting more competitive and more expensive. When my longtime sponsor, Rocky Mountain, retired their gravity team at the end of 2024, I was forced to look elsewhere for sponsorship. Many great riders were looking to sell their services, and very few brands were looking to buy. I was able to land some amazing support from Fox, Raceface, Smith, and Ride Concepts, but the frame support still eluded me. As the notion of big bucks and frames dwindled, it dawned on me that I might use this opportunity to ride any bike on the market. I was fortunate to find support from Specialized, but it was short-lived as not long after, Henry asked me to come on board with QuarterHP. The timing was wrong. It put me in an awkward position with my sponsors, and it would mean that my race career would be put to the side. But it was also an exciting proposition for the future. It felt like with the team that Henry had assembled, we could do something different and interesting in the mountain bike space. And it meant that I still got to ride my bike a ton on the coolest bikes on the market and grow myself outside of racing. If you've been a fan of my work in the past, consider giving QuarterHP a thumbs up or even a subscribe. I might completely suck at presenting for the time being, but the good news is that I'm pretty good at riding bikes, and I'm going to get much better at presenting. Unlike Henry, who might be a great presenter, but I have a feeling his riding has peaked a long time ago.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Outrageous.